If you're daily driving Kali as your regular computer, I can already tell you one thing. You're probably not doing what you think you're doing, and you're probably making yourself worse at cybersecurity or understanding Linux, or possibly both. And before anyone gets mad, I've been seeing this mistake for over 15 years, all the way back to the BackTrack Linux days. And real quick, if this is the kind of no BS cybersecurity and Linux content you're here for, hit like, subscribe, drop a comment below, as well as follow all of my socials, and consider supporting the channel in the links below. It really helps the channel out. If I see one more kid on Reddit saying, I want to be a hacker, so I installed Kali Linux as my daily OS, I'm going to start handing out NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and BackTrack CDs like it's 2009 again. Because here's the thing, even I don't daily drive Kali. Not on bare metal, not on a laptop, not ever. The only Kali install I use is a rarely used virtual machine, and that's strictly for very specific tasks. My actual daily driver for offensive security work is Parrot OS on my System 76 Pangolin, this laptop right here. And when I go to DEF CON, I bring two laptops. Parrot OS on the Pangolin for offense, Qubes OS on my Purism Librem 14 for defense. One's the sword, one's the shield. And because DEF CON is basically the most hostile Wi-Fi environment on Earth, they do have a secure Wi-Fi that they do have a knock and a sock for. We're not going to go into that right now. I wipe my Parrot OS install after every conference. No exceptions. So today, we're going to talk about why Kali was never meant to be a daily OS, why this has been common knowledge forever, how Kali should actually be used, and why Parrot OS is the correct choice if you want something you can actually live on, in my opinion. There are some other options out there like Black Ubuntu, Arch, Black Arch, and installing just the tools you need. But before Kali Linux existed, we had BackTrack Linux, the original hacker distro. And even back then, the developers were very clear. It was not a daily driver, stability was not the goal, tools changed constantly, updates regularly broke systems, wireless stacks loved to implode. BackTrack eventually evolved into Kali, but the philosophy never changed. Kali is a penetration testing and security auditing platform. It is not designed to be your everyday laptop, your school computer, your gaming machine, your editing workstation, your do everything OS. It is a scalpel, powerful, precise, and dangerous if misused. Why Kali is for daily driving is a bad idea. Kali is built for offense, not stability. Kali ships with tools that inject packets, intercept traffic, escalate privileges, modify kernel behavior, manipulate wireless interfaces, and that's great for pen testing. It's terrible for a daily operating system. 2. Kali's rolling release breaks constantly. Daily drivers need predictable updates. Kali gives you fast-moving repositories, fragile dependency chains, tools pinned to exact versions, updates that overwrite configs. Your Wi-Fi, audio, GPU drivers, Bluetooth, or desktop environment can just break overnight, and I've seen that firsthand. Number 3. Most people install Kali for the wrong reasons, let's be honest. Most new Kali users are not pen testers. They're not doing authorized engagements. They're not studying for OSCP. They're cosplaying being elite hackers. We see it all the time in our cybersecurity chats where new people come in, and it's fine. We want to educate them, but installing Kali does not make you a hacker. Learning networking, Linux internals, scripting, identity and access management, and system architecture does. Number 4, Kali actually makes learning harder. Because everything is pre-installed, beginners skip a lot of fundamentals. They don't learn Linux properly, they don't learn how tools are built, they don't learn debugging or configuration. Automation without understanding is not skill, it's a potential liability. Number 5, legal and ethical risk. Kali ships with tools that can end your career if misused.
Man, game over, man, game over!
Running some of them on school networks, work networks, hotel Wi-Fi, apartment Wi-Fi, coffee shops can be a career-ending move that puts you in very real legal trouble. Kali is a loaded weapon. Treat it that way. The correct way to use Kali, in my opinion, is a few different options. Option 1. Use Kali in a virtual machine. This is the correct approach for most people. A lot of beginners use VirtualBox, and that's fine for entry-level learning, but VirtualBox is a Type 2 hypervisor, meaning it runs on top of your OS. That adds overhead and makes it feel sluggish. If you're on Windows, you should be using Windows Pro so you can access Hyper-V, which is a Type 1 hypervisor that runs directly on the hardware. If you're on Linux, I personally use libvirt with KVM QEMU, which is also Type 1 and gives near bare metal performance. If you're running Qubes OS, Zen is already built in. And yes, there's Proxmox, but we're not going to go too deep into that in this video. And also on Qubes OS, your results may vary on setting it up. It's a community-maintained build. I've had issues at times with it, but that's another diatribe for another day. Let's give the quick rundown of Type 1 versus Type 2 hypervisors. Type 1, bare metal, runs directly on hardware. Faster, more stable. Examples of this are Hyper-V, KVM, QEMU, Zen, and Proxmox as we've discussed. Type 2, hosted. It runs inside another OS. Slower, more overhead. Examples, VirtualBox, VMware Workstation. This is why VirtualBox feels slow. It's virtualization inside an OS and requires the OS to provision resources. Before installing any hypervisor, make sure virtualization is enabled in the BIOS. For Intel, it's VTX and VTD. AMD, it's AMDV and SVM mode. Usually it's one toggle, flip it, save, reboot. These have been built into CPUs made within a little over the last decade, so pretty much any computer you've bought recently should have support for this. Why I do it this way. Using a proper hypervisor gives you strong isolation, safe experimentation, easy snapshots and rollbacks, realistic networking. Kali belongs in a lab, not on your daily laptop. Option 2. I recommend using Kali as a live USB for real pen testing work. Clean boot, disposable environment, minimal footprint. This is exactly what Kali was designed for. Option 3. If you must, a dedicated, separate machine. Now, if you absolutely insist on it running something bleeding edge, experimental, or high maintenance on bare metal, do not put it on your main machine. If you're going to bare metal it, do it on a completely separate device that you expect to rebuild regularly, does not contain critical data, does not impact your day-to-day productivity, and will not ruin your week when it inevitably breaks. Think old laptop, spare desktop, lab box, something you're okay nuking from orbit. This is how you safely learn things like Arch, experimental file systems, new kernels, weird desktop environments, or aggressive rolling release setups. Your daily driver should be boring, reliable, predictable. Your learning box can be chaos. And honestly, that separation alone saves people so much frustration. It's important to know Kali and other ethical hacking setups are a toolbox, not a home. You don't live in your toolbox. You use it when the job requires it. If you want a distro that can daily drive, remain stable, be secure, and still support offensive tooling, Parrot OS, in my opinion, is that answer. It comes in Parrot Home, lightweight, stable, secure, without any of the security software, and Parrot Security, pen testing tools included. And again, this isn't hypothetical. I daily my Parrot OS on System 76 Pangolin, and that's my offensive machine at DEF CON. My defensive machine is my Purism Librem 14, running Qubes OS, which gives me strong isolation and compartmentalization. Offense on Parrot, defense on Qubes. That combo works because Parrot is actually designed to be lived on, in comparison to Kali. And speaking of doing things the right way, let's talk about today's sponsor, Proton. Proton offers Proton Mail for encrypted mail, Proton VPN, audited no logs VPN, Proton Drive, encrypted cloud storage, Proton Pass, password manager with aliases, and two-factor authentication. Everything is open source, end-to-end encrypted, and protected by Swiss privacy laws. If you care about privacy and security, you should check out Proton using my link below to support the channel. So here's the TLDR. Kali is not a daily driver. It never was. It breaks constantly. It contains potentially dangerous tools that if you don't know better can get you in serious trouble. So does Parrot OS, but with great power comes great responsibility. It can potentially teach beginners bad habits if you just start messing with things in an uncontrolled environment. And I know quite a few people who have gotten into trouble doing such things. Use Kali in a VM, on a live USB, on a dedicated hardware, and for labs, CTFs, and real pen tests, and make sure you only use it when you are given permission to do so. If you want a distro that you can actually live on and do security work, like I said, Parrot OS, or install the security tools you need on another distribution like Pop! OS, Ubuntu, or etc. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Choose the right tools for the right job, and as always, happy hacking.